There are so many videos on improving your productivity, and every single one is BS. They're literally fucking you because their advice is not only useless but harmful. But don't worry, this video will go in depth over every single thing you need to know, and I guarantee you won't have to watch another productivity video again. I'm not gonna waste your time. Let's go over the mistakes that everybody's making when it comes to productivity. Firstly, having no plan and not writing down exactly what to do tomorrow. Scheduling is quite literally the single most important thing you will ever do for your productivity because if you don't have a schedule, you can't fight against your emotions. You feel like scrolling, so you scroll. You get invited to some random thing, so you go. My life changed when I started scheduling. I went from this entrepreneur who had 8 hour screen times to constantly having sub 1 hour screen times. Another massive factor that most people are doing is having a horrible processed diet. You might be confused, like, how does that food affect productivity? But improving your diet will single-handedly net you more results than any Pomodoro technique or Forest app. If you overeat these cheap, unhealthy, processed foods, then you function at least 50% less than what you are capable of. I'll go more into detail in the diet section of this video. Another thing that old me and probably you are doing is having poor focus. You do your work while listening to music, while your phone is on, while stopping halfway to eat, and you might just be taking breaks, but humans operate the best under a deep workflow state. That's when we get so consumed in our work we don't worry or think about anything else. A 2 hour deep workflow state will surpass 6 hours of unfocused work. But when you take these frequent breaks, your brain can't enter the deep workflow state. One message check kills your focus for the next 15 minutes. Thirdly, you are trained to be an employee. This isn't exactly your fault, but an authority figure is constantly telling you what to do. As kids, we only did work when our teacher said to do work. This is a problem because when an authority figure isn't there, you can't do work. You just sit around and do what you want. You have to fix this and become familiar with setting yourself work to do. And finally, decision fatigue. We have 30,000 thoughts in a day, and every single one saps our productivity. When you are constantly deciding what to eat, when to eat, and how to dress, and you don't have a simple minimalistic lifestyle, that drains your productivity. Why you feel so unmotivated. Now let's talk about brain points, which I got from Andrew Huberman and Hamza. You only have a limited number of brain points a day, so do not waste them. Every minor action takes points. Let's say you start with 60. You wake up and turn your alarm off, and since you woke up unnaturally, you lose 20. Then you check your notifications, and every second you are on your phone, you are losing points. You indulge in deep thoughts that are irrelevant to your work. You decide what to wear, you decide what to do. Now you only have 17. And the tasks that you actually need to do, like building a website, cost 60. And since you're only at 17, that task is way too daunting for you and hard. So you just do what you feel like, consuming content. So knowing this, you have to reserve your brain points for the most important tasks of your day. So how do you do this? The night before, you create a priority task list and write down the most important thing that you need to do tomorrow. And in your schedule, put them at the top. So you just get it done when you have the most brain points available. Maybe you already start off with such a low amount of brain points, so you still can't do it. So what you can do is improve your physical and mental health. The better your health is, the more brain points you'll start off with. Commit yourself to Andrew Huberman's podcast. I learned so much from him and my health has never been better. And like I said before, every decision you make is killing your brain points. So set in stone your decisions for tomorrow. Schedule every single minor thing you will have to do, like what and when you're gonna eat, and what you're gonna wear the night before. Make your own timetable/calendar. So how do you make your timetable? My favorite way is to not use some fancy app, but just a notes app or something where you can check things off. Then you create your schedule like this, and every time you finish an activity, you can check it off. Firstly, set up your bedtime and wake up time and ensure that it is the same time every day. Make sure the time you set is something that you can maintain for the rest of your life. Secondly, meals. Make them the same time every single day. Then as a third, add minor things like exercise in your work blocks. Yes, blocks, at least for 90 minutes, because that will give you time to enter your deep workflow state. Also, make sure that the calendar is completely blocked out, even if your rest blocks should be filled with an activity. Then after you set your schedule, follow that bitch. Now let's talk about diet. This is the single most important factor to productivity nobody is talking about. Don't eat right before work because digesting food is extremely tiring for your body, so you feel tired and lethargic during your work session. And when you are digesting food, you can't enter a deep workflow state because your focus is diverted between work and digestion. So know what foods distract you and avoid them. In general, just avoid big meals, carbs, oats, protein powder, pasta, rice, bread, pizza, and cereal. And foods that don't wake you out are meat, vegetables, nuts, and fruits. To decide whether a food will distract you, you have to test it. Eat the food, then around 30 minutes after, think about how you feel after you eat. Can you focus? Do you feel lethargic? If yes and no, then it's probably good. So, the final sector of this video is what you are actually working on. Before you sit down to work, you should know exactly what you are going to do. For example, I'm going to study pages 14 to 17, doing questions B to F. And you should have said that the day before. So all you have to do is follow the plan. Make sure that that plan is specific and tell yourself that if you don't follow the plan, you're a pussy. Now, when you're actually working, choose the actual important work. For a YouTuber, that will be recording videos, not comment maxing. For a dropshipper, it will be making ads, not making a logo. Prioritize the important and urgent work, then the important ones, then the urgent ones, and finally the shit ones. Important and urgent work is things like doing a task for your boss that he wants done by tomorrow. Important work is things like building a website. It's important, but you don't have to immediately do it. Urgent work is things like getting a call from a friend. It's urgent because you have a limited time to pick up, but you know what you guys are going to talk about is useless. Prioritize your tasks from what I gave you top down. The most successful people refuse to do the less important work that drains their brain points before the major tasks. Don't waste your brain points by watching the garbage YouTube videos, even self-improvement videos like mine, because you're just jerking off your brain. You think you're being productive, but you're not. The best way to know if a task is worth doing is to ask yourself if that's going to propel you towards your goal. If the answer is no, then stop doing it.